Okay, we're entering the row. Skirt, skirt! Hi everyone, Brenna here. Today we are doing a test drive talk on our 2011 BMW X3. All right everyone, so pulling out here, you will notice that the shifter knob is very interesting. So it's not your typical shifter that moves completely. You actually only push the unlock button to shift into reverse or drive, and then it is more of like a knob kind of. So the actual shifter doesn't move up and down, you just click it. So that's pretty neat. You'll notice around the whole cab that it's a 2011, so it's a little bit older, but it's like super retro. Like you have like this wood look. The leather is like a really unique brown leather, so that's kind of cool. All right, so we are going to pull out here, and it definitely gets up and goes. There's no delay or anything, so that's really cool. It's all-wheel drive as well. It's got about 70,000 miles on it, but it's super clean. We have clean Carfax, just some things to be thinking of. Changing lanes was super easy. So changing lanes was super easy. Like the blinker is really responsive as far as like sometimes you click it and it like stays going one way, so that was super easy to do. There's a lot of window space around, so you don't like the blind spot isn't really that bad either. The ride is also super smooth. There's not a lot of wind noise right now. I'm going 50, so. And we are actually going to start with the frontage road today. So we are going to see how that is. All right, so here we are on the frontage road going the opposite way that we normally do in the other test drive talks. And like before, this road is bumpier, it has curves, so we'll just kind of see how it rides, but first reaction is it's pretty smooth. Something really cool reminded me, since we're going to be on hills and stuff, this SUV does have hill descent control, so that's pretty cool. You know, for it being a 2011 model, it does have a lot of interesting things in it. Also, something kind of cool is the gauges are something like I've never seen in a vehicle before. They're very straight and to the point, like not really super electronic like you've seen in like some of our newer vehicles. So that's kind of cool. I like it just because it's really easy to read, and the wheel is big enough to where you have a big enough space to see all the gauges at once. So if you guys will remember in our last test drive talk, which was the Audi Q5, it had this really interesting control for the radio and the navigation and stuff. This is very similar. So that's kind of interesting because that was a newer model, and this BMW is actually, you know, like I said, it's a 2011. So same kind of thing to where it's a knob and you basically push down to select. So that's really cool. You also have navigation. Nowadays navigation is very standard, and actually I think they're making that a law to have it in most models or all models. So very interesting that this older model has the navigation, but it's higher end BMW, so that's what you should expect from it. Okay, moving on to the climate controls. So everything is right here, really easy to read. It's all buttons and, you know, the two knobs, but super easy to read. We're still on this windy and curvy road, and it has a great, I mean, there's nothing concerning. The wheel is also very responsive, like when I want to turn and stuff, like it's very responsive. So something kind of interesting about this model is the gas pedal is actually mounted down. So generally you are pushing it down and the gas is going up. And in this case, it's actually, you're pushing down. So it doesn't really change anything driving wise. It's just kind of interesting the way that it's built. Okay, so as you'll notice in the back, The seats are super cute and you have a lot of trunk space. So like I said, it kind of just has like a retro feel to it. You'll also notice we have a lot of natural light coming through. We do have a sunroof. And this is, you know, I mentioned this in the last test drive talk as well, but very interesting that this older 2011 model has the full sunroof. A lot of them, I mean, in 2011, that wasn't a common thing. That's kind of newer, so that's interesting. Okay, so we are merging onto the highway now. So we are on the highway now, and the wind noise is not bad. The ride is still super smooth. And yeah, I think overall it's great. No complaints. So we are going to pass. The acceleration is also super smooth. Sometimes you have a little bit of a lag in your acceleration because like it's not a sports car or anything. But this I've noticed is super smooth throughout the entire acceleration. So something that's interesting is that your radio control is all right here on this knob once again, but the volume is all the way up here in this super small knob. So weird, something to get used to though, that's for sure. Something to think about, we are going the opposite way from the test drive that we normally go on, and this exit is really curvy. So we'll get a little bit of how the car will turn using this curve. And it seems to, I'm not going super fast or anything, but it seems super smooth. There's not a lot of sway in it at all. Body roll. So I will say that this screen is, it's not hard to read, but it's weird because like you have this ledge right here. So it kind of like, it's like, okay, is this the screen? Like, it's just kind of weird. It's not like a familiar layout that's standard. Okay, so we are pulling back into here quickly, if I do say so myself. Okay. Okay, so now we are backing up into our spot. You'll notice right here how I'll do it again. Like it's not moving, it just does a little click. Okay, so here we have the reverse camera. And I personally do not use it because it's just not what I'm used to. And I just like to check my surroundings. But yeah, I mean, it's very wide angle and that's great. Then you just push the P to park. And here we go. All right, guys, thanks for listening to my 2011 BMW X3 test drive talk. If you're interested in test driving this vehicle, visit us at 1820 Vandalia Street, Jack Schmitt Ford, or visit us online at jackschmittford.com.